There is a Red Table Talk episode circulating that is of course hosted by Jada Pinkett Smith, her mother and daughter, featuring Gwyneth Paltrow. They are discussing a topic surrounding failed sexual relationships. But there is one particular disturbing statement that Jada mentions where there is speculation of her taking shots at her and Will's sexual relationship that we know to be a red flag. That is not only cause for failed relationships, but also downward spirals, failure to be in a healthy relationship, and being happy in life.
I know, I'm
I
sure.
mean, the thing that Will and I talk about a lot is the journey. I mean, we started in this at a very young age, 22 years old.
It's crazy.
That's why the accountability part really hit for me, because I think you expect your partner to know, especially when it comes to sex.
Right.
It's like, well, if you love me, you should know.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you love me,
You should be able to read
you
my
should
mind.
read my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I
that's
mean?
a huge pitfall.
That's a huge pitfall.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome to our JIP Raw podcast. I am Regal, joined by my husband Sheem. If you are new to our channel, subscribe, like this video, and click notifications for positive meditations, affirmations, podcast reaction videos weekly. Also join our Patreon podcast for additional exclusive content that you won't receive on our YouTube channel. The links are in the video description.
So let's dive into the disturbing red flags that Jada mentions in this clip that people are doing on the regular that reeks of self-sabotage that they may not be aware they are doing. Expecting people to be mind readers, as in knowing what you want, think they should know about you without making them aware or sharing certain information about yourself. Not taking accountability for your role in these circumstances.
The key ingredient that many people lack in this situation is emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, and accountability. You may have already heard her mention and say that a lot of people are expecting other people to know what they want, to know what their expectations are, to know what they're thinking. And this is just not true, but this is cause for a lot of the issues that people are having as far as, loving themselves and, having downward spirals with depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, also not being able to maintain healthy relationships with people. So we're going to talk about what it means to have emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, and accountability, because these are very important ingredients that people need to have in their lives daily that could help them lead and live more happier, healthier lives. So let's talk about what emotional intelligence is. According to Help Guide, emotional intelligence, otherwise known as emotional quotient or EQ, can be described as the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflicts. Emotional regulation can be described as the ability to exert control over one's own emotional state. This may involve behaviors such as rethinking a challenging situation to reduce anger and anxiety, hiding visible signs of sadness or fear, or focusing on reasons to feel happy or calm. And this description is based on or according to Psychology Today. So what does healthy emotional intelligence look like? Having healthy emotional intelligence helps you with your overall performance in any personal and professional task. It helps you to be more effective. It helps with your physical health in managing stress that can lead to suppressed immune system, high blood pressure. It increases not having emotional intelligence can increase aging, infertility, strokes, heart attacks, and more. Uncontrolled emotions and stress can impact your mental health. I want to say that again. Uncontrolled emotions and stress can impact your mental health and increase vulnerability, anxiety, and depression. If you lack emotional intelligence, not being aware of yourself and your emotions, you are basically self-sabotaging yourself and encouraging the downward spirals.
I think not having emotional intelligence also distorts your social intelligence, right? It prevents you from knowing friend from foe. It reduces your discernment.
It does.
Right? It reduces your ability to measure another person's interest in you. Balancing your nervous system through social communication, feeling loved and happy, it plays a big role in everything you do.
It really does. And this is why it's so important for people to understand why they need to have emotional intelligence, because, everyone is talking about the negative effects of not having emotional intelligence, but no one is talking about how we can actually resolve this issue. What needs to be implemented for us to improve how we deal with ourselves and how we deal with others. What people need to understand, that emotional intelligence is a defense mechanism. It helps to protect you. It helps you to protect yourself and also protect yourself from others who don't have interest in you. And if you aren't protecting yourself, you're going to constantly open yourself to situations and circumstances that you didn't intend to be a part of. And then you're going to, feel like it's right to place the blame on other parties without taking accountability for yourself. And accountability, defined by Oxford Languages, can be described as a person, organization, or institution required or expected to justify actions or decisions. You have to take responsibility for yourself. We live in a world where, people are looking out for themselves. And if that means that they're going to hurt you in the process, they'll do it. And if you're someone who has experienced a lot of trauma, by way of being in a relationship with someone else or being connected to another person, then you understand what I'm saying. Because you expect people to take the love, the time, the energy that you put into them seriously, and you are expecting them to reciprocate that back to you, but there's a possibility that they don't know how. And that they're not reading your mind, that they're not reading the cues and the signals that you're giving them. And this is why it's so important to have emotional intelligence, so that you are able to discern and communicate that.
I think as human beings, it's normal for us to experience a wide range of emotions, right? But it's understanding these feelings and emotions that really help us better cope and address, even resolve, right, the root issues, right, that we experience as people. It's important to understand that the practice of emotional intelligence itself and regulation takes time, work, practice, and patience. You can't be fooled by shortcuts. Shortcuts lead to shortcomings and disappointments. Right.
You got to stop trying to take the easy way out. You have to stop trying to take the easy way out. Just as much time and energy has been put into your trauma. You have to invest that same amount of time and energy into restoring yourself. And it's work, like they say, and this is just me paraphrasing, a lot of good things come with hard work. And if you are always looking for a shortcut, like my husband said, you're going to have shortcomings and disappointments. Always trying to take the easy way out. You definitely have to invest the work, the effort, and the time into the process, and this will guarantee a better lifelong result than playing the blame game for having an unhappy and unhealthy life. And as I mentioned before, you have to understand that emotional intelligence and regulation is all about protecting yourself and taking responsibility for yourself. Because face it, as much as you want to believe that other people have your best interest, that's not always the case. We got to be real. We got to, we got to be real about the world that we live in. And if you truly want to take charge and change your life, you need to do this.